Good morning. How are you today? It's Saturday. It's about as cold, but I'll tell you what a difference the wind makes. Today the wind's not so bad. I mean, it's windy, but nothing like yesterday. And so today would be good skiing weather. If I was near any place where I could ski, and if I had waxed my skis and all those other things. But anyhow, what is in the news? Do you wonder how they name the variants of the virus? You know, we had Delta. Okay, that's kind of obvious. It's a change. So why Omicron? Why not Epsilon or any other letter in the Greek alphabet? Probably there's a crossword puzzle question on this. Why Omicron? And you have to wonder about our policy. We swing back and forth between close down, be very careful, don't do anything, to go ahead. Yeah, hold my beer. I'll risk the pandemic. And I think the push to be open is a combination of things, of a political, not a scientific variety, which is the people are going crazy that they can't go out there. So we let them go crazy, increase the numbers at a time in the year when it's more dangerous. And then the smarter ones don't go out. But the other smart ones that think, well, if they're saying it's okay, and they said this, that, and the other thing, and they go out and then they get the virus. So to a certain extent, because of the factor of politics and the concern to open business everywhere, I think we always have to keep that in our mind when we're reading the results. And now we're concerned about the Omicron version of the virus coming to us from Africa. And so from Botswana to Zimbabwe, we're concerned about that virus and whether or not our vaccines will be effective. Although what I understand is we're looking into it and testing it now. But it's hard to believe that in this world that there hasn't been at least one person with the virus who's come to us from Africa, especially from South Africa, to the States, because there's such a traffic between us and South Africa. Now, while we're talking about this, those of us who think our kids are important, and Republicans apparently are not among them, and when you consider the fact they don't care if they're shot by guns in school, we shouldn't be surprised that they don't care if blacks are shot, and we shouldn't be surprised if they don't care if children are vaccinated, because all of this comes from the Republican side. I don't hear Democrats ever saying these things. And when I was on the Hill, I saw people cry and be upset, particularly about guns. When I was there, the vaccine wasn't a question. But there's been a dividing line my whole life between what Republicans want, which is little for most people and a lot for Wall Street and Main Street, Market Street, if you will. And the Democrats have been elsewhere. And that by itself is a basis, despite disagreements with the party, to be for them. But in Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi, there are low vaccines for children, and they have some of the highest bad rates for infections. Go figure. Huh? I don't know. Safety, public safety is one of the conditions of government and governing, and they've entirely failed. And I think the door opens and closes based on these failures. We're all victims of these individuals. And if you're in Michigan and you have an ailment requiring a hospital visit, you may not be able to get it because all those unvaccinated people are putting pressure on our emergency rooms to the disadvantage of other people who have health challenges. So that's pretty terrible. If I could identify things that are good news, and it's ironic in a way, there are two obituaries that I find fascinating. One is Stephen Sondheim. I've never known him, but I've, like many other people, admired his work. But I had one particular connection with a little night music. And I had a girlfriend in college, and one day we went to a reception, and she said to me, "John, I'll be right back. I have to go do something." And then I heard this angelic voice fill the room, and it was Doris. She was this magnificent singer, and we were young enough that we didn't do more than kiss, I suppose. But we had these exchanges all the time. She encouraged me to go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I visited her in Stock. And then one day she got a chance while I was clerking in the Second Circuit, and we weren't in touch then, but she reached out for me, and Stephen Sondheim had given her a song, The Miller's Son, that she sang as Petra in a little night music at the Shubert Theater. And like a stage door Johnny, she got me tickets at the stage door. I went in and saw it, and it was fabulous. And I felt so happy for Doris, who'd worked so hard, to see someone up close and personal who's progressed from singing at a reception to singing on Broadway. And I felt pretty square. I had a long top coat on. I then wore a mustache, and it was pretty well trimmed. So I felt as square as possible with her and her Broadway associates. But Stephen Sondheim, because of her, I read about him, and he was nothing short of a genius. There are people that just soar above everybody else, don't even appreciate what they're doing because what they're doing is so fabulous. And so you might listen to anything he's ever written. He was a lyricist, a musician. He did it all. The second person that had an obituary, he strikes me as a different kind of hero, a civil hero. He was the police chief, I believe, in Montgomery County. And if you remember back in the early 2000, there was, I don't know what year it was, 2002 or 3, there were these snipers who were just shooting people, killing them. And he took it on himself and just lived the case. And because of his effort, he managed to find the snipers, and they've since been dealt with. But he was so fixed on it, he wrote a memoir of the entire event. And in my opinion, wrongly, it resulted in him being fired because they didn't think he should profit from a book he wrote. How many other people do you know who get put down for writing about what they actually experienced? I don't know that there was any prohibition about it. So he just died recently as well. But he was sitting in his home in Florida watching a football game when he died. And probably for him, that was the best way to go. So we have two men, very different, one in the arts, one in civil performance, not entirely appreciated for what he did, although they should have. And he just moved on, and I just have a feeling that a man who could conduct that investigation probably took good care of himself psychologically and every other way. The weekend, it seems to me, is a kind of retreat from the insanity that engulfs us as a country and as a people. And I think that we're in for some more difficult times, but I think we can weather them if we keep our head. If you can keep your head about you when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. That's Kipling again. So be well, have a good day, get out, it's not that cold, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.